Got a mind full of questions, and it just won't let me be. I am weary from the restless heart inside of me. I never cared about believing till I see I've lost my way. And then my troubles all around me, and all that I can say, see me through another day. The devil's calling, I need a place to hide away from the storm. When the water's rising, when the sun don't shine, need a place to hide away and some peace tonight. Found out life was complicated, snow gray and black and white. Sometimes I wanna follow Jesus, sometimes he's hard to find. I never cared about believing till I see I've lost my way. Then my troubles all around me, and all that I can say, see me through another day. 'Cause the devil's calling, I need a place to hide away from the storm. When the water's rising, when the sun don't shine, need a place to hide away and some peace tonight. When the waters rise around me, when my worries all I see, I called your name and you came and you found me. Through the darkness I can see, oh, I can see, oh yeah, another day. 'Cause the devil's calling, I need a place to hide away from the storm. When the water's rising, when the sun don't shine, I need a place to hide away and some peace tonight. Won't you lead me to another day? 'Cause the devil's calling, I need a place to hide away from the storm. When the water's rising, when the sun don't shine, need a place to hide away and some peace tonight. Need a place to hide away. Won't you give me some peace tonight? Thank you.
Morning. Today's reading is from Proverbs 29:18. Where there is no vision, the people perish, but he that keepeth the law, happy is he. Champamakyoung, Book 7, Chapter 3, Section 3, Passage 4. In Danbury Prison, I was taken aback by how our Unification Church members from around the world wept profusely when they came to see me. Before entering the prison, I said to them, "You are only staring at the iron gate of Danbury Prison. You cannot see the world of the future that lies beyond its prison walls, but I can. I hear the trumpet call sounding liberation and the shouts of workers gathering the harvest. Wait and see. We will surely embark on a path to a brighter future for America. If I cannot get there, you must teach people and lead them until it comes to pass."
I'm praying that there's some young people who can be inspired and take on the tasks that I myself have been developing. Today my sermon will be partly a report about what I've been doing over the summer, but I don't like to just simply make a report. I really would prefer to give some kind of inspiration or give some kind of nourishment for the week. So I'll begin with the sermon and I'll go into the report. The title of my sermon is Looking Beyond the Iron Gates of Danbury Prison. Actually, today, as you know, is not just simply another Sunday. And it's not just simply the last Sunday of summer before Labor Day. It is also the Sunday before the 5th Seonghwa ceremony of our true parents, of our father. And therefore, I'd like to begin with reading his final prayer. And that prayer read this way: Today, as I have returned the completion of final perfection to the Father, I am aware that I have offered my whole life up to this moment to the Father. According to his will, I am spending this time to bring my life to conclusion, using this time to bring it to a close with jungsang, or with devotion. Tribal messiahs have established a name that can represent the nation. I have accomplished all these tasks. I have accomplished everything. Aju. Thank you. Whenever I think of this final prayer of our true parents, the words that stick out the most for me is Tribal Messiah. This is the title that he gave us. But then I have to ask myself, what is a tribal Messiah? What does a tribal Messiah do? What is the responsibility that I have as a tribal Messiah? Is it simply to bless 430 couples in my tribe? Actually, when I try to visualize what a tribal Messiah looks like, and I think about my husband and I all wrapped in those white robes, and you know, both of us are kind of round. We look really, really terrible in those robes. And actually, as much as I know that 430 blessing is important, I don't feel especially called to that activity of blessing couples. Maybe you feel the same way. Maybe you struggle with that also. And honestly, as much as I want to give the blessing, the marriage blessing, and strengthen marriages and organizing blessing ceremonies, that part doesn't inspire me. So forgive me if that sounds negative. I don't mean it to sound negative. And I know our focus is to bless our tribe and our circle of influence, but I'm just not inspired to do it exactly that way. So perhaps you feel similarly. And now if you do feel to do blessings, please put 100% into the blessing ceremonies. If God calls you to do that, you must do 100%. However, if you're like me and my husband, you have to find another way to respond to God's call to you. The only unacceptable response is to do nothing. Don't let the blessing ceremony and 430 couples, or the image of your spouse and yourself in white robes, giving the blessing, become your iron gate. Let me reread the Hundegay passage from this morning. Before entering the prison, our true father said, I said to them, meaning to our members, our world members, you are only staring at the iron gate of Danbury Prison. You cannot see the world of the future that lies beyond the prison walls. But I can. I hear the trumpet call, sounding liberation, and the shouts of workers gathering the harvest. Wait and see. We will surely embark on a path to a brighter future for America. If I cannot get there, you must teach people and lead them until it comes to pass. So in this passage, Father is using the iron gate metaphorically as the thing that stands in front of us It's the thing that we see, the thing that is causing us not to see the bigger vision. He says he sees a great harvest, and he hears a trumpet call and a path to a better future. Do you see that? Thank you. Do you see that? Do you share that vision of our true parents? Or do you only see the iron gate? In Danbury, Father saw that no matter what was in front of him, God's kingdom would come to pass. And he said, if he couldn't get there, then who? We must teach the people and lead them until it comes to pass. 5 years ago this week, circumstances became such that our true Father could not get there. So we must teach people and lead them until God's kingdom is established here on earth. If you can't do it for the blessing, through the blessing, then do what you want to do. Find a way so that you can express how God's kingdom can come. Find a way that you can express the divine principle and the vision that our true parents have given us. Find a way to teach how the kingdom of God can surely be established on this earth. The only unacceptable response is to do nothing. Do you share the vision of our true parents? Do you think God has a vision or a dream? Do Reverend and Mrs. Moon, our true parents, have that same dream as God? And do we share that dream? Who here has a dream? Somebody has a dream? Somebody has a dream. If you're young and you have a dream for the future, great. If you're older and you have a dream that you've been holding on to, continue holding and continue pushing forward. And if you're older and you sort of gave up your dream a little bit, that lingering dream that remains in your heart, even that is a dream. Rekindle it. Rekindle it. There's a funny little song from a 1958 musical called South Pacific. The chorus goes, actually it's called Happy Talk. And the chorus goes, happy talk, keep talking happy talk, talk about things you love to do. You gotta have a dream. If you don't have a dream, how are you gonna have a dream come true? You have to have a dream, you have to have a vision, because dreams can't come true unless you've got a dream to begin with. So why am I asking about dreams, visions? Because basically when Reverend Moon, our true father, passed on, he left us everything. He left his dream in our hands. I remember years ago, Father said, if there were 5 Sun Myung Moons on this earth, the kingdom would come so quickly. When you think about what just one person did, what our Father did, the teaching that he brought, the volumes of speeches he left, the inspiration that he's given to youth, to scientists, to world leaders, to religious clergy, the interreligious conferences that we held, building businesses, service projects all over the world, the media development, the international meetings on world peace, development of fishing industries, and we can go on and on and on. All over the world, there are pockets of things that our true parents have done and inspired. Obviously, our true father, for that matter, our true mother as well, don't simply have one dream of giving the blessing ceremony, giving the marriage blessing. Of course, that is the very central vision of our movement. But if you don't feel called to do that specifically, then take up a dream that you feel compelled to do. Don't let the blessing ceremony and the 430 couples become your iron gate that blocks God's vision for a world of peace. As I mentioned, I have chosen myself to follow a different vision. And I did want to give a report on the development of my activities. There are many aspects of this work that I would really like to share, but it would take a very long time. I think it took over 2 hours when I was talking to Pastor Manoj the other day, just to go through some of it. But I do want to give some highlights of the programs that I was involved in and the way that they're developing now. Also, I don't think you want to be sitting here that long. So beginning on June 19th, I headed down to Ascension, Paraguay, to help staff the Leda Youth Project. Included in that project was a service project in Bahia Negra, where we worked with the Catholic Church, Catholic priest, also the municipality, and a local school. I'm hoping that, there we conducted a cleanup campaign. And the campaign was themed Clean City, Clean Soul. And also included in that activity was another campaign that we referred to as the 3 Blessings campaign. Why 3 Blessings? Because it referred to love God, love humanity, and love the creation. It said it right there on our t-shirt. Basically the 3 blessings is to be fruitful, multiply, and have dominion. Love God, love humanity, and love the creation. As a matter of fact, we were asked to design a welcome sign at the entrance of the city, which is often the backdrop to people who are visiting. They take a picture together in front of this sign. And that sign now reads, love God, love humanity, and love creation. And on the opposite side is a picture of a crane. You know what that is a symbol of. This campaign was especially interesting because by sharing it that way, we could very naturally teach the principle to people, explaining, these 3 points and say, of course, we did this actually with the Catholic priest. Of course, you understand that these are speaking about the 3 blessings. And then we just go into the lecture of the 3 blessings. So we were able to teach that piece of the divine principle just by wearing a t-shirt. Also, during our time in Bahia Negra, we were asked, as has sort of become a tradition, to paint a mural on the wall of the school. And the mural team co-created this beautiful mural sporting both themes, Clean City, Clean Soul, and also the 3 blessings motto on the top. And then to the side it said, God is my passion, humanity fills me with emotion, and the creation is my inspiration. So we were able to leave some part of the divine principle there on the wall of this school. From there we moved to a small indigenous village called Diana, where the Leda volunteers have actually been going there over the past 15 years or more. And actually we sat with the chief of the village, having a casual conversation on the veranda. And he explained, a few years ago, when our children graduated from school, and it's the school, in fact, that the Leda community built there in Diana, the children aged 13, 14, and 15 would just naturally move on to the next part of their life, which means that they went on to have children at 13, 14, and 15. But when our members came, when our young people came, they would ask, how old are you? And they'd say 20, and they'd say, but you're not married? And they'd say, no, our point is to develop ourselves individually first. So since our young people coming, actually the tradition in that indigenous village has changed, and those young people are now trying to hold back and to take more time to develop themselves as individuals and even move on to higher education. Yeah. the divine principle is good and strong, and our members are an example. Next, as always, the young people went on to Leda, and there are many, many activities. As a matter of fact, there are 10 images there you're going to see. Those activities included, clearing the land and digging the taro and catching the fish and, so many things. This year, we helped build the new Pantanal Animal Park, the kind of zoo where visitors will be able to walk together with the animals, much like the Eden experience. We gardened there, and we also created the welcome sign. What is that, a picture? Oh, the snake. Ew. That's our welcome sign. Following the youth project, I stayed in Paraguay to help organize and arrange for the first anniversary of the Paraguay South America ACLC. As you know, last year we inaugurated ACLC in South America with Reverend Sykes. And this was we successfully brought this time 4 participants, 2 of which are now studying the divine principle. That definitely. The plan actually for this ACLC activity was made actually in January. And what we were planning to do was bring ministers from North, Central, and South America to Asunción to be able to dialogue about how we can develop a greater sense of one America, North and South united. But in the meantime, Mother decided to speak on which weekend, the exact weekend that we had planned to hold this conference. So I went to speak to Dr. Balcom, and I asked him, what should I do? I don't want to take away from what's going on here or invite ministers to be going in a different direction. And Reverend Balcom was actually quite, it was really refreshing for me. He said, well, okay, why don't you invite one minister from South America, one from Central America, and I will pay for it, he said. So we invited one from each area. And they came up, and I was a little concerned because I was still in Paraguay. I watched it from the TV. And I was trying to coordinate their activity here. It was a little bit difficult because things changed. The person whom I asked to do that, Rafael Sanchez, became the interpreter for the MSG event. So I was sort of, fumbling a little bit. Anyway, these ministers had a very good experience. Do we have a picture of the first one? The minister from Honduras there. His testimony that he sent just recently, I'm just going to read a paragraph from it. He said, "It is not going to be easy to recreate in Honduras what I saw in New York, but it can be done. It will take perseverance, focus, determination, and a great deal of creativity because there is a great resistance. But we should always remember that he who is with us is greater than those who stand against us." So, great minister. And then from Paraguay, this was not a minister, this was a theologian. He is a professor, and he wrote a very detailed testimony. He said, "In recognition of my mothers," this is just a little piece of it, "on Saturday, July 22nd, that's after he returned from the event, I said a final prayer for my biological mother. Evidently, she passed right after he came back, who had passed away in Paraguay. I had a certain yet paradoxical feeling that I had lost one mother and found another true mother. In this, I clearly understood the reproach of Jesus, 'Who is my mother?' And following these experiences, I felt intensely serious that I had reached a turning point in my life. And in conclusion, he wrote, my experiences of the foregoing external events have impacted me internally along three central theological lines. One, the providence requires me, as a counterpart, to act in faith no matter the difficulties that may stand in front of me, and the providence will always show the solution thereof. Two, peace begins with me and expands via social resonance. And three, there is a new revelation. The role of women in the process of salvation represented by True Mother. This is my testimony, he wrote. After the ACLC event in Paraguay, I came back for 2 weeks before leaving again for Honduras. I definitely stacked things too close together. Anyway, that's what I did. And this was phase 1, part 2. As you know, we did phase 1, part 1 in January. Significant for me in this project is the fact that my older sister joined the project. To see what I actually do when I go away. That's what she said. But also, she went away because her granddaughter wanted to join us in the project. But my niece wouldn't let her travel alone unless she was with an adult whom she knew. And I had already bought my ticket for Honduras, and there were no seats left on it anymore anyway. So my sister Donna offered to travel with her granddaughter. And my granddaughter referred to her experience in Honduras as the best experience of her life. Many people contributed to this project, and I can't say thank you enough. The project is coming along very nicely. Actually, children are on the swings that we installed from morning until day's end, and many adults sit and chat and have lunch in that park. We also installed a checker set, checker and chess board on the benches. We created a game place. And actually, one day we saw these two kids, they're sitting there, you know, with stones. But the stones weren't on just the black or just the white. They were everywhere, and they were just moving them around everywhere. So there was no you know, rhyme or reason to what they were doing. But they were having such a good time. And I'm really hoping that someday somebody will teach them how to play checker or chess. So also, the gazebo is underway. And local participants will hopefully be continuing that project. Now there'll be columns put up, and then the roof has to be put on. And then next year, in phase 2, we will be mosaicing the gazebo and also creating pathways. Is that the map? Yeah. Pathways, and we'll be landscaping the park. So then in the third year, what the plan is to switch from the visual arts to music and dance. And we want to hold a rally there, hopefully a rally between young people from North, South, and Central America and the Caribbean, that they can go there and share their culture with one another. A rally centered on peace and a rally centered on the unity of the Americas, only one America. Which is our theme, Una Sola America. And also at the same time, maybe we will include some kind of music competition. And also the hope is that that minister who is talking about let's recreate what happened in New York, we hope that we can do an ACLC rally that will include ministers from North, Central, and South America. I know it sounds nuts, but anyway, I have come to discover that the important thing is to declare what you're going to do. Have a vision and begin to work towards it. Because as soon as you set up a vision, as soon as you start moving toward that vision, even if it's a flop the first time, even if it's a flop the second time, if you continue to go in that direction, the spirit world begins to add things on. And part of the reason why I say that is that, you know, just before I left for Paraguay. I went to visit with the ambassador of Honduras. I have made that kind of a, just my mode of operation. I go and make a report to her, let her know what we're planning to do, what we're doing, and that sort of thing. And you know, she said to me when I went to visit her, you know, I would really like to do the sawdust carpet here at the UN, you know, like we did in Nutley a couple of years ago. And I said to her, yeah, well, you know, I did 2 projects in Honduras this year. I'm a little low on money, and like that. Well, I can't do it right now. And then I went home and I thought to myself, what am I, crazy? The ambassador at the UN to Honduras is asking me if I will do something at the UN. So I quickly sat down, I wrote an email and I said, dear Ambassador Flores, you know, actually I was thinking about it. I would be happy to do that. I'd be happy to do the carpet at the UN. The only thing is, would you be able to sponsor 3 young people, 3 participants to come up from Honduras to do this? And she wrote back, and in fact, when I was in Paraguay, she wrote to me and she said, I got the money, not for 3, but for 4 people to come up. So we're scheduled for October 23rd to have 4 people come up, and we'll be doing a project right on UN Plaza, just outside the front door of the UN. And I just say that these projects, even though they are not the blessing itself, these projects have grown out of a vision that has affected my town municipality, the school system, the youth in my hometown. We've been able to share the vision with the local clergy, help to expand it to the ACLC clergy in Paraguay and Honduras. And we've helped to share the vision of a peaceful world with youth from North, Central, and South America, which has even now gone on to be able to be seen at the UN. So again, I want to say thanks to all the people who have helped out. There are many people here who donated to the GoFundMe. And of course, a special thanks to the Women's Federation, who actually gave a donation that paid the fee for the South American youth or the Central American youth, the Latinos, to be a part of this project. They basically make about $250 a month if they have a job. If they don't, they just cannot come up with that money. I'm grateful to Women's Federation. I think they need a big round of applause for helping in that vision. Those who gave to the GoFundMe, that money went towards all of the material that we needed in order to do the park. I fell short on some monies for our general activities and that kind of thing, and I have been given permission by Pastor Manoj to sell T-shirts next week. The T-shirt that we used for the program says on the front, "Only One America," and on the back it says, "Una sola America," from Alaska to Argentina. So hopefully next week you might be able to help out by purchasing a T-shirt or a couple of T-shirts. Those will go towards the past project and my balance. Just in closing, I'd like to say, please don't let tribal messiahship become an iron gate. Don't let the words become an iron gate for you. Strive to fulfill your dream. Do something that you love to do. So much energy comes from doing what you love to do. This week, please think about what you love to do. Find your dream and decide how you can make it into your offering. And in closing, I'll just reiterate again, if you don't have a dream, the question is, how are you going to have a dream come true? Thank you so much. God bless you.